New do. Jason here. Jason's over here. We're in Charlestown, West Virginia. It's kind of my area. Of course, that back there, that's the courthouse where John Brown was tried and then taken up the street and hung. Well, this is the post office. But this post office was the original site of the jail where he was, jailed at and then taken across the street and where he had his trial. I'm going to read a little bit off of the plaque on the side of the building here. On this site of this post office stood the Jefferson County Jail where John Brown and his fellow prisoners were confined after their raid on Harper's Ferry in October 1859. After court trial, John Brown was taken from the jail here to his death on the gallows, December the 2nd in the year 1859. From this post office in Charlestown, West Virginia, was started the first rural free delivery service in the United States under Postmaster General W.M.L. Wilson, October 1st, 1896. This is where 7 men hanged in December 1859 and March 1860 for their part in John Brown's reign in Harper's Ferry. The scaffold stood here in a large field a month after the trial. On December 2nd, 1859, John Brown was the first to die. He rode here in a wagon, sitting on his casket with his arms tied. His last message, which he gave to the jail guard, read, "I, John Brown, am now quite certain that the crimes of this guilty lamb will never be purged away but with blood. I had, as I now think, vainly flattered myself that without very much bloodshed it might be done." 800 militiamen under Colonel John T. Gibson stood guard to prevent any attempt to free Brown. Brown's body was returned to his wife in Harper's Ferry and taken home to North Elba, New York for burial. Many Northerners regarded him as a martyr. Among those present at Brown's execution were Thomas J., later known as Stonewall Jackson, then an instructor at the Virginia Military Institute, John Wilkes Booth, who obviously assassinated President Abraham Lincoln in 1865, Edmund Ruffin, who fired one of the first shots of the Civil War at Fort Sumter. On December 16, white raiders John Cook and Edwin Coppock and black raiders Shields Green and John Copeland were hanged here. Raiders Aaron Stevens and Albert Hazlitt followed on March 16th. In 1892, Gibson, the militia commander, built the Victorian house that stands here today. And this is the area. So they basically probably, came up the street or whatever. And what's very interesting is the actual cart, you can say, that he was brought here and resides in the Jefferson County Museum. It's there. I'll have to show it one day. I'll go in there and check out some of the stuff. Here's also a sign, John Brown Scaffold. Within these grounds, a short distance east of this marker, are the site of the scaffold on which John Brown, leader of the Harper's Ferry raid, was executed December the 2nd, 1859. And that's some history for today, children. Hope you enjoy. Please subscribe. Please like. This is Jason is over here. For heaven's sakes, subscribe.